Okay, it is 9 a.m. I'm going to call this meeting of the Codington County Board of Commissioners to order. It is Tuesday, June 15th, 2021. And Cindy, you want to lead us today?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. If anyone has a cell phone, if they would silence it. If you need to take a call, if you could step out into the rotunda, and we are streaming live on YouTube. Call for public comment. If individuals would like to address us about something that is not on the agenda and it's for information only, the two phone numbers we will still allow them to call in is 882-6248 and 882-6297. Conflict of interest items, are there any for fellow commissioners that are on the agenda?
No.
Action to approve the June 15th, 2021 agenda. The only thing I might mention is Luke is in another meeting, and so when we come to the first readings of the ordinances, we'll bump them to the back of at the end of the meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Van Duzen, second by Gable. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That motion carries. Action to approve the June 8th, 2021 minutes of the Board of County Commissioners. Motion by Johnson.
Second.
Second by Gable. Any additions or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Monthly reports. Steve is not here. So we will start with Rick, Highway Superintendent. Good morning, Rick.
Good morning. Morning, Rick.
Well, there's not a lot to report. The weather's been beautiful.
Yeah, start on the roads pretty soon. Somebody asked you.
Yep, that's on my list here.
All right, just checking. Somebody was asking me yesterday.
Yeah, we've already mowed a little bit where we're chip sealing. We just keep the grass away so we don't have that issue of stuff blowing on the roads. Around the 4th of July, we'll start mowing the top cut on the asphalts. The guys have been hauling P-rock to different locations yet to get ready for chip sealing. We started yesterday. That looks like it may be an issue with trucking. Today we had a load at 8 o'clock and I tried to schedule another one before that. The same driver's got to go back to Marshall and get the second load. So we may be adjusting our hours to come in earlier, leaving a little earlier so we're not stretched out through the day so we can get it done. We had our summer meeting last week out in Pier. There was a lot of discussion on House Bill 1259 about culverts for the townships. They're still working on the language. The state is still working on the language for that. So I know it's not small culverts. It's anything over 5 feet. So that's what that is. And like I said, the DOT is working on the language for that in the State Department.
Just sorry to stop you, Rick. So on that one, they're going to allocate a certain amount of money for each county to basically work with their townships. They're giving us the criteria, or is the state kind of assessing each of the structures, or how?
Well, like I said, they're still putting things together.
Okay.
So it'll depend on, some counties don't have a lot of culverts, the 5 feet and larger. And I'm not sure how many Codington has throughout the townships, but there's going to be hoops that they have to go through to get the money.
It's kind of like our big grant. I think there'll be some criteria. That way we'll have an easier, it'll be a simpler process for us to determine. Also, they believe part of that, they will have to assess those culverts, and First District has already let us know that there is a tool that they're working on that they'll be able to use that rather than getting an engineer.
Don't want to have to hire a consultant to do the
No.
evaluation for us.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yep.
Nope.
IMEG has started doing their survey on the roads out by Long and Stink to see where we have to have them adjusted to keep those people so they can get out when the water comes up. And it's just sooner or later it'll be up again. The guys have had to replace some culverts. Had some spots fall in the road, culvert rusted out. We've done some asphalt patching in a couple of spots that we replaced the culverts. And then that brings me, I gave you a piece of paper that I received an email last week from True North Steel about honoring the bid that they gave us in January. They sent that to the whole state that they're no longer going to honor that bid. I sent that on to Becky at the state's attorney's office, and we'll go from there. But sounds to me like steel price has almost doubled on them. They've used up all of their old inventory, and now if I wanted a culvert, I would call today, and I have 24 hours. They give me a new price.
How many bids did we get were they the only bidder? Okay.
Yep,
Sounds like, okay.
for metal pipe, yes.
Okay.
Take it or leave it. They're big. Why bid it then?
Yep, and who knew that steel price was gonna
No,
go
that's
up?
not the point. Why bid it?
Well, they didn't know in January when this
We're
is.
required to bid
yeah.
it
Yeah, I know.
by law, yeah.
I know.
Yes.
We're required to bid it, but they're also required to honor their bids. Unless there's a loophole.
I believe there probably would be a loophole.
Yeah, otherwise they wouldn't have sent it to the entire
You
state.
might want to run this through legislative audit.
Okay,
Get
I
their
think
opinion
I think it's
also.
already been sent
Yeah,
from other
I'm
counties.
sure somebody did, but I would get
Yep.
legislative audit's opinion
Yep.
also.
Yep,
Besides Becky.
I've been
Okay.
expecting an email,
Okay,
so,
sounds good. Yep.
but also there's a letter attached that I'm sending to the township supervisors that we're not going to supply the culverts. If they want a culvert, they'll have to go to Huron and pick them up, because if they have an emergency, I'll help them out, but they'll replace the culvert.
It's not our obligation.
Yes,
Right.
so, yep. But like I said, if they have a hole drop in the middle of the road, I'm not gonna expect them to, I'll help them out, but I'll want a culvert in return, so,
Replacement.
yep. But that's about all I have for my monthly report, so we have a little bigger fish to fry.
Yeah. Steve just came in, so I don't know if we would.
If you want, go ahead, so.
Let's
What
do
else?
Steve's
We'll do
report.
Steve because we
Yeah.
have quite a few
Yeah.
things here
Yeah.
for Rick. So yeah, we'll just take Steve up. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning. Busy.
Yep.
We'll start out, I guess, here at the courthouse. Ooh, really echoing. At the courthouse and stuff like that, there was a little bit of a smell problem, distinct problem here going on here for the last week or so. We had thought something was dead downstairs in the basement. Happens to be our recirculating fans weren't working, and it was causing issues of a kind of like a water, had like a
Stale
like
water.
a stale water smell, like if you go by a slough in the middle of summer. So we're getting that kind of resolved. We've been doing some aerial or some scent going on throughout the system, trying to get that to cover up and get gone again. Also working on stuff for the parking lot. I've gotten the bid so far back for regrinding the back parking lot and putting new asphalt back there. It's getting kind of crumbly and breaking up. And I'm waiting right now on some quotes back for having the approaches done as cement back there to keep it so that's a little bit more steady and don't smush down like asphalt does. Detention center, they've been having a little bit of issues again this past week with air conditioning units again in there. I believe it's right now been kind of working out in the last couple of days again. We'll go to the weed. Right now in the progress, we probably got between a third to half the townships done. I have the shoulders all done on the state roads except for interstate. Part of the interstate has been ran through with the Kubota already, and probably will go back at that next week. Right now, they are doing some of the townships and starting on some county roads. And also last week, Wednesday, I made a flying trip out to Rapid to go get the poison hemlock larvae. We actually did it in a round trip full day. It was a long day, but we did it all in one day instead of stopping because our schedules are just really full with trying to get spraying when we can get spraying done. And the extension building, kind of more or less just some functions going on. They have couple auctions for this month, had the Hereford, I believe Junior Hereford show, and then also Rabbit Show at the beginning of the month. And then I think there's some minor meetings here and there. And then in West Nile, haven't been out yet to do any traps. City has just started doing collection of traps. They just got done showing that we are getting some, actually probably more Culex Tarcellus than actually the 80s, the nuisance ones. So I think I'm gonna try to see if I can get my trap set out next week sometime.
So those are the West Nile.
Yep. The Culex are the West Nile ones. And that's gonna probably be our biggest issue. I'm assuming with the drier weather in the little pockets, any moisture there is, that's where they really like it. And with this heat, that they seem to come on stronger in those kind of conditions. And then we'll go to the park. The park has been pretty full, but I mean, you guys realize that there's been kind of probably a few issues going on out at the park. The park managers out there are really trying hard to turn around and set rules, and a lot of people are complaining, don't like the rules kind of, and that's what we've really noticed on those issues at the park. So it's been a struggle. So
I was out there this weekend, and I did stop at, I think it was 4 different random sites at the park just to see how things were going for the campers out there. And I didn't hear any complaints.
okay.
People were very happy with the process of checking in, and they were happy with the facilities. And I know that we do get some complaints out there, but for the amount of people that utilize that park, we're not hearing a lot of complaints. You
I do know,
I mean,
and once
I'm not.
it is,
I mean,
it's publicly
the park was
known.
packed.
Yeah.
I mean, it was jam packed. And I know that we do hear complaints on occasion, but considering the amount of people that we're serving out there, we're going to have those complaints. That's going to be with anything. So, and we'll address those individually as they come in.
Yep.
But,
Right.
I
So,
just wanted to
good
make
job.
note it and so that, so.
Well, and that's part of it. We have updated, some of our rules to coincide with city and state parks so that we're a little
Right.
more consistent. And so that
Um,
becomes an issue with.
Yep, and being
Enforcement.
said that, I end up turning around and got a sign made. It's kind of almost similar to what City Park is with all the rules and so that, and that's going to be placed by the entrance area there.
right.
So,
The big thing is that, the ATVs and the licensed drivers and that sort of thing,
Right.
you have to be a licensed driver to operate within the park, and that's just liability issues.
right.
And we're
And
trying
I
to
mean,
prevent
it's still
something
yet,
from
it's a law yet anyway. I mean, you're not supposed to, on public areas.
happening.
Well,
What they want to do on their own privates is one thing, but in public.
right.
Are there particular rules that seem to be bothering people? I mean, that we've.
Oh,
hasn't changed
just
that much.
one of the things is that we had, in the parks, we have one of the issues. The last one is we have lengths for camping areas. Certain campers can't get into long areas. Well, we kind of more or less did a minimum at the pull-throughs because we run into issues where they're really small, and we have these rigs that come in with 40 foot and trying to back into deals. So we put a minimum size through the pull-throughs, and that's all online. And when they call in, when they ask,
So it's clearly posted, clearly.
we don't have that clearly posted, but when you go in to reserve, It's,
It asks the
it's
question.
on there, on the reservation system. And then they ask them what size if somebody calls in.
Mhm.
So, and make that note to them.
Yeah, it's just growing pains with all of that. just
Yep.
Implementing new rules and guidelines.
So we have a very, very small percentage, less than 1% of the people that are actually making the most. noise.
Probably would say.
And they're all the same people, same.
And some,
family.
yeah, I agree. I've had the same people.
And
approach
so
me.
social media lends to that issue too.
Right.
You know, they get on social media, one person shares it and then another person shares it and then the comments take off like wildfire. If there's a problem out there, contact us, let us know so that we can deal
Right.
with it, you know? But yeah, everybody I talked to was very happy with the park this weekend, so.
Okay.
Not
It's
only
enough
the
said.
park, but the condition of the park.
Well, they're working hard at it, trying to get things
Yes.
cleaned up and straightened out there. And then a side note, Cindy, yes, I do have the doors are to be, so that for this evening.
How about
And
the
when-
air?
Well, the air usually, the recirculating system is what shuts down at a certain time
Okay.
because that don't run all the time, but the air should be on.
Yeah, we need to have the building
Yep.
open tonight to count the city's ballots. So just coordinating with Steve on keeping the doors open and the air running. We may have to borrow a fan. Mine has
Okay.
disappeared somewhere. It's good to keep the
It's
air.
in the basement.
It's good to keep the air circulating back there. Yeah, I'm sure it is.
I think Dave had one downstairs last week.
There's fans downstairs we can take.
I think ours
upstairs.
ended up down there somehow.
Probably did, just,
Yeah, it's good to keep the air circulating back there so we don't have humidity when we're trying to count those ballots. Okay.
yep. And then a little side note, and so bad, I know we have this wage deal Cindy had thrown around, posted. I gotta get some of these ones that in the future here that are having their
I think there's
anniversary.
maybe 2 or 3.
There's 2 or 3.
And I don't know what we're doing with
But-
Mr. Hedges.
Right. But just a little side note that yesterday I talked to a gal and so to come on for help or hired her to be assisting for the weed spraying and so she won't be able to start until next week. And I said, that's fine because I got to get it through you guys and so first. So,
Put on.
yep,
For
put it on for next week.
Just a
so.
seasonal position.
Yep, seasonal position. Yep.
And none of these are new positions. They are
Nope,
some that
they
we've
are-
had in the past and then they
Yep.
just didn't get filled. So
Right.
now we're running into the issue that
Yep.
they need to be. So,
And it hopefully can put off a little bit. So I'm not out there all the time.
right.
I seem like I'm living in the truck. So,
Mhm.
all right. Any other questions?
It's just a relief to find out there was any dead bodies in the basement.
Well, I was kind of questioning that.
Or dead critters or something like that. We can deal with that.
All right.
Save that water.
Yep.
It'll all work.
All right.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Steve.
Yep.
All right, then. Now we will go on to item number 7. Luke, we'll just kind of keep an eye on that, Lee. So whenever he hops on, opening and announcement of bids received for the Hall Road Restoration Project.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Got a few bid tabs.
All right.
I
Think
gave
he-
some that I had, so.
Okay.
Yeah, we do
sounds
have
good.
some.
Well,
I
So if
think
you
everybody-
just
okay, good.
announce who is along with you, please, your name and,
Jordan Roggenbach with Banner Associates.
Jordan, you want to turn that mic on right there,
Do it
and then
again.
do it again.
Jordan Roggenbach with Banner Associates.
all right, thank you.
Good morning.
How many bids do we have?
3.
Okay.
We'll make sure.
All right, the first bid received for the Codington County Hall Road Restoration, banner number 2351700 is from Bituminous Paving Inc. in Ortonville, Minnesota. The bidder has acknowledged the addendum. And they have a bid bond attached. for a total bid of $8,885,266.00. That is 8885266 and no cents. Our second bid is from Border States Paving, Inc., located in Fargo, North Dakota. They have supplied a bid bond. The bidder has acknowledged the addendum. And the total price for all bid items is $11,441,355 and no cents. And I'll repeat that, 11,441,355 and no cents. Our third bid received is from Dunick Incorporated, located in Princeburg, Minnesota. The bidder has acknowledged the addendum. They have supplied a bid bond. And the total cost of all bid items is $8,049,425.25. That's 8,049,425 and 25 cents.
8049.
Oh, excuse me. I'll repeat that again. 8,049,425.25.
Just a quick question on this. When Banner wrote this, did you include reseeding all the ditches and things like that too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And so the apparent low bidder is Dunick Incorporated in Princeburg, Minnesota. We will bring these back to our office. We will add up all the bid items, make sure that there's no clerical errors or mistakes in adding, and
Can you
And
get
put
back to
together a
it set yet this morning?
We'll probably put it on for next, we'll do it.
I have it on
next
the agenda for next
week.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
I just try to push it along a little bit.
And this, like Charlie asked, this has re-sloping the ditches and
Yeah.
making sure the culverts are done and reseeding and grinding of the asphalt. And
Well, sometimes you think of roads and then you forget about the ditches.
well,
And
between all of us, we tried to get as much as we could because there's a lot of issues out there on 60 miles of road, so.
oh
it's
yeah,
a very comprehensive.
and now's a good time to ask dumb
These guys
questions.
have a lot of hours invested, so,
But now is a good time to ask dumb questions.
yep.
Well, the fact that products is so hard to get available, Lisbon can take it into consideration,
Yes,
you know.
I put it on there just in
You know,
case,
you just talk about culverts.
but I do have it on the
Well,
next week.
there's gonna be culverts being replaced, you know, in this process, I'm sure somewhere along the line, and do these, people, spending bids, do they have enough equipment and enough help, you know, to get the job done? Help is hard to come by too. So, you know, that's what concerns me, because anytime, I talk to anybody, any contractor, in the past month, and they're all just shaking their head because they can't get siding, they can't get this, and they can't get that, and it's back ordered, and I myself am a victim of that right now, where, we're promised something that's supposed to be here the 28th of May, and it's holding up the project, and it's not here yet.
That's not bad, it's only a couple weeks.
Well, we try to nail them down, and they won't give us a date either, they just will not give us a date, so.
He was waiting.
Anyway, that's my big concern, you know. The bids come in good.
Yep, they
Yeah.
really look good, so,
All right, thank you.
thank
So
you.
Rick, why don't you
Thank you.
stay? We'll do that discussion
Hall
on
Road
possible
agreement.
action on the
Oh,
agreement for the
oh,
restoration. I
sorry.
think Waylon
Yep,
was on.
I think Waylon is,
I am here. Can you guys hear me?
All right,
Yep.
yes. Do you want to just state your name, Waylon?
Sure. Yep. Waylon Blasius with Banner Associates.
Okay. So we had this before us last week. We were waiting. There was some of the concerns that we wanted brought back to Next Era in regards to the Hall Road agreement and just the agreement for the restoration. And so, Waylon, if you'd want to kind of take over from here, we got some answers back from them, so.
Sure. Yep. Absolutely. Thank you, Brenda. And would you guys mind, could I have you switch the camera back to the pan of the commission there? Just that way I can see who I'm talking to.
It's on.
It is. Okay. Sorry.
It's
On my screen, I got the agenda, so that's my bad.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anyways, right. So
Drop the agenda. I can stop the agenda. Okay.
there we go. That way I can chat directly with you guys. Perfect. Good morning. Thanks for inviting me via Zoom again this morning. Jordan, thanks for opening the bids here. I guess you guys had mentioned, but I was happy to see that we got some good competitive bids and from some local contractors. So that's great for the county's interest in this project. In regard to the agreement with the amendment to the agreement with Next Era, I did forward on some of the topics that were brought up at the commission meeting last Tuesday to Next Era's project manager. And he provided us with some responses to those questions. The first item that we had questioned was if they would incorporate language into the agreement that stated that if the bids came in up to 10% above the original estimate, that they would cover those costs, because their agreement originally just stated if they were in excess of 10%, what they would do in that situation. So they did amend the agreement to state that they would provide funds to cover any costs for a bid coming in up to 10% above the original estimate. One of the other questions that came up last week was how were they going to address covering the engineering and testing fees. It is stated in the original haul use agreement that that's part of their responsibilities, but I just wanted clarification for that. They did provide clarification via an email back stating that they would reimburse those fees separately as provided in the original road use agreement. And that correspondence has been shared with Brenda and with Tom Burns and Rick. So the county does have a copy of that correspondence as well.
Forwarded it on to the rest of the commissioners yesterday, Waylon.
Okay, great. And then one last question that did come up in review of their document was that the original road use agreement was between entities named Crown Ridge Wind 1, Crown Ridge Wind 2, and then Codington County. And I did verify that Crown Ridge Wind 2 has since merged and changed hands so that is now owned by Northern States Power, which is an Xcel Energy company, and they are considered an affiliate in this agreement. There is a signature line for their entity on the agreement itself. So the project at hand does cover the entirety of Crown Ridge Wind 1 and 2 for the road use purposes. And then, yes, the owners of both of those are entities of the agreement.
Right.
So then with that, we did receive a corrected agreement from Next Era to review that contained those corrections. There was one item that Brenda did discuss that was not extremely favorable to the county, and that was the option for Next Era to provide an escrow account, or so they changed the language to say that they would provide an escrow account or pay the county. We have working with Cindy and then with Carol. I appreciate their help, especially late notice the last couple of days. They have provided Next Era the county's information for a wire transfer of the funds so that we do not have to concern ourselves with an escrow account. And I verified that with the project manager yesterday from Next Era that they do not intend on using escrow account, that they will wire transfer those funds. That wire transfer should be taking place at any point in time here. I have not talked with Carol yet to see if she has received any word from it. But I did reach out to Next Era this morning and I didn't get anything back from them either. The other item would be the actual agreement signed by all parties. I did receive word from NextEra yesterday that the Crown Ridge 1 personnel have signed the agreement. They sent it off to the Northern States Power for their signature, and then we're going to provide it for Codington County's signature. I do not have that signed document in hand as of right now. But I guess I would be looking for, the commission to act in a way to approve the ability for the chairperson to sign that document once it becomes available to Codington County.
So before next Tuesday's meeting, it's just pending those signatures, basically is what we're waiting for. And I think, like you said, everything's satisfactory. They just didn't, and I appreciate the fact that they, in this email did reflect that they will pay us, just wire us the funds rather than escrow, so. Anyone else have any other questions or?
Waylon, what is your last name, Waylon?
Blasius, Blasius.
I just have one question.
Sure.
This was on your email you sent out, Rick. And it's something in here in the first paragraph where it said one of the items is noted as I'm not sure it was receiving affirmation of reimbursement for engineering testing fees and design and bidding.
And that was answered
Yes.
further down.
Yeah,
Okay.
there was a
Yep,
red line.
sorry.
They are
That
going
part
to,
of that money's is taken care of.
they're going to do it separately. It won't be part of this fund. They're gonna do,
Okay.
make a separate payment for those.
Yep. So that was part of the original agreement that would have been signed back in 2019 with by the county and NextEra that stated that they would be reimbursing the county for all of those costs. And so I guess I didn't have any issue with them not adding it to this. I just wanted them to verify that they acknowledged that that was still a responsibility of theirs. I guess if I may, then do you mind, Brenda, if we quick discuss the timeline of the action that would need to be taken for the bidding of the project and contracts and award?
Yes, that would be fine.
Okay. And so the next step in the process, as Jordan mentioned, is we will tabulate the bids ourselves to verify that they're clean of any errors. From that point, I believe that I heard you guys mention that on the agenda next week for the commission meeting would be essentially the action to award a contract to a bidder. That would be the next step. I know that you guys meet the 22nd, but then not again the 29th. In the interest of the project, it would be if once the project is awarded by the commission, we would provide the contractor with the contract documents. If they were to sign them and turn them around and get them back to the county, it would really be in the best interest of the project and everything to be able to provide them a notice to proceed as soon as those contract documents were signed, rather than waiting until the July 6th meeting. And I only say that because in talking with contractors, it allows them to start getting their ducks in a row as far as material getting crushed and getting mobilized and that sort of stuff. So is it possible that we could assign or act to assign a commissioner to be able to sign that without the full commission's approval for proceeding on the project?
The agreement is what you're talking about. They're all shaking their head, yes.
I think so.
We can word the motion next Tuesday to include everything.
Sure. Yep. So right. So essentially it would allow a representative of the county to approve the notice to proceed, which would allow the contractor to proceed forward with starting the project essentially.
Right.
And like I said, if there was a meeting the 29th, we could, we would do it differently, but since there's that gap in there, it would be nice to be able to take care of that.
Absolutely. Keep this moving forward so we can get this.
So do you want an action today to authorize the chair to sign the agreement?
Yes, I would ask for that. That way, Brenda could sign the agreement once because it will be executed by the other parties prior to coming to Codington County. And so that would be the last signature needed to execute it.
The agreement. So I would look for a motion
So move.
motion by Waterman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Gable. Is there any discussion on that?
Just, we should probably stay with the motion. Let's just make sure we got it
Yeah.
right. So the motion is to, once the bid is awarded, that we're authorizing the chairman to sign.
No.
This is
this
just
is
on
the
the agreement.
This is
Oh, the agreement, sorry.
This
yeah,
is
yeah,
just-
this agreement, okay.
Yep.
Once the other parties, I mean, if we're all satisfied
all-
with the way it is, and then as
And
soon as they.
restoration of the Hall roads, yeah.
Any other comments or questions? We ready to vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. All right, so as soon as we get that agreement back, then I will get that signed, and next week it will be on there to accept the bids, and then,
And action to
Action.
proceed.
all right, very good. Any other comments, questions for Waylon or anyone else? All right,
Appreciate your work
Yep.
on that.
thank you for all the
Yep.
work.
No, thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Waylon.
Yep.
Yes,
thank-
you bet, Rick.
All right, thank you. Luke? Yes,
Not here yet, but
I know.
we haven't had any progress yet.
Right.
We gotta roll.
Yeah.
yeah.
We
so
will be here
good.
till about 11 if we can get her all out.
We'll wait for Luke here. Discussion possible action to pass a resolution to enact a ban on open burning. Jamie emailed Cindy and I earlier. It looks like we'll still be okay this week. Let me just find his, just for, sorry, pull this up.
We'll keep it on there. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll keep it on the agenda. It still looks like we are okay this week. We'll have some
We are back in the
humidity.
drought monitor though.
We are back in there, pushed us into the drought category, abnormally dry conditions. But he thought this week he had discussion with the fire departments. They agreed not much burning activity is happening, and we're still green at this time. See no need. So we'll keep it on the agenda
We're
though.
supposed to get some rain here
Yeah,
this
hopefully.
week, I think. So,
Yes, hopefully that happens. So item number 14, action to approve claims for payment.
Nothing for 14 or 15.
What about this?
Oh, never
We
mind.
do have some claims.
Yeah, there's a big long list.
Yeah.
My
It's okay. It's been a long morning.
All right, this is claims for payment. Total claims are in the amount of $1,083,474.02. Of that amount, $653,563.70 is passed through to the state of South Dakota. I've got a few things highlighted. We received our invoice for our liability insurance, our auto insurance, our law enforcement insurance. That is the SDPAA, which is the South Dakota Public Assurance Alliance. The total claim this year was $108,146.22. Our invoice last year was $107,510.78. So considering the way insurances have gone up, that's not so bad. We do get a lot of credits. We get a law enforcement credit, we get a loss control credit, and those are based on things we have done, measures we have taken to safety measures through law enforcement
Yep.
and in this building too.
And
So,
maintenance.
maintenance, correct. So overall, that's not so bad. We'll just see what happens in the next year. But
That's,
that is the pool that we belong to as the South Dakota Public Assurance Alliance.
with that small increase, it really is amazing. It's not more.
It is. It
Move
is
to
very,
approve.
and we have it, well,
She's got more claims. here to
yeah, I
talk
got to
about.
be more,
Yeah.
maybe.
Most of them are the SDPAA that I could see.
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
That's
that's
probably the only one
mainly,
highlighted.
thought there was one more, but maybe not. Yeah, I guess that is the only thing that I had highlighted. So if you have any questions on the rest of the claims, you can run those by me. I'll see if I can
I'll
answer
still
them.
move to approve.
All right, motion by Johnson,
Second.
second by Gable. Are there any other comments, questions for Cindy?
You can also see that jury has picked up. We have quite a bit of jury that we are paying and witnesses. So you can see that the courts are back
Yes,
in session.
trying to get all the backlog. through.
But, Cindy, on the sheriff's Entry 289, Tritech Software Systems in the amount of 15,781. What was that for again?
You know, we looked that up yesterday and our
I believe that's-
invoice just does not explain to us what it
I believe
is.
that's where Zerker is under that, I think.
Is it?
I think
That's
so.
what we thought was, that it was
Yeah.
probably Zerker.
That's the new parent. That's
Okay.
about a year ago, I think. that
Yeah.
became the
There-
parent of
there's-
Zerker. So
Tritech.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Okay,
It's
I
an
think you're
annual
right.
fee, an
Yeah.
annual fee, yeah.
So the maintenance agreement and update.
Right,
system update.
pro software, yeah, so that
And
they
that's
have a
the-
connection with local law enforcement, is
Yeah,
that correct?
That's law
Yeah.
enforcement and jail database
Yeah.
stuff and a
Um,
bunch of other stuff.
There was another one that we
Yeah.
thought you might have questions on. Oh, the other half of it is in the jail budget, Tritech. Half of it
Okay.
comes out of the jail, half of it comes out of the
Yeah,
sheriff's
that would
office.
be
Yeah.
jail software and
Yep, yep.
law enforcement. Okay.
Right.
Tritech.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. Action to approve automatic budget supplements. Are
None of
there any personnel changes?
We have 3 personnel changes and per instructions, these employees would have normally gotten their anniversary step increases later in the year, but with the new wage scale implementing September 1, we were instructed to give these step increases July 1st. The first one is Heidi Selchert. She is an appraiser 2. She'll go to step 13, $23.91 per hour. Melissa Sears is appraiser 2. She'll go to step 12, $23.62 an hour. And Allison Forbush, appraiser 2, step 12, $23.72 per hour.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Gable, second by Waterman. Any comments or questions?
Just, I'm the liaison for that department, and I just reviewed their employee reviews. I just want to thank them for their service to the county. So
Very good.
just think that's important to do that. So
Yeah.
thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. Item number 17, action to approve travel requests. Don't have any of those. Public notices, possible quorum of commissioners could be at. Are there any events you can think of? There's Zufari Friday night, but I don't know how many would be interested in that.
Well,
We will be at, there will be a quorum of us, but we'll mention it when we talk about the ordinances, because we all will be at the city meeting on Monday night, the 21st, so.
and we also have, being we're not meeting on the 29th and the 4th is on a Sunday, there's a possibility of a quorum of both parades, Transburg and Watertown.
Right, we'll meet on the 22nd, yeah, so we'll mention
So
that
we got
again.
one more week, yes.
Yeah, we have one more week. The Shake Wagon is still going. I don't know if this would be under public notices. It is at Dakota Bank. It still is today and tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. So that might almost just fall under open, but should we notice that? Yep, thank you for coming. Any old business? Any new business?
We have a public auction set next Tuesday for the right to hay our property we own on Highway 212. I'm gonna need somebody to determine what the starting bid is. So we would need probably the going price. for
Talk
the
to an
lease
auctioneer.
of that.
Mike Berg,
Yeah,
Randy Owen, somebody
In
like that.
last year's, so we ended up 2 years ago.
I have it. I think 2 years ago, we couldn't get our asking bid, so we had to take what was offered. But, and I don't recall what that.
I don't remember.
I don't
either.
remember either.
So.
Just so
anyway, if
people
you-
know that that's on 4th Avenue between the airport and Highway 212.
Correct.
How does it sound that we just start the opening bid of what we did last year? or
The
2
last
years
time.
ago?
We do that.
Well, we can still, I'll contact a
If
few and I'm
somebody
sure
wants
Jim
to,
has a
you know, check
connection.
on it in the meantime and
Yeah.
get something ready next Tuesday.
Yeah.
For where we should start, that would be good.
And it's a 2-year contract is what we've been.
Yeah.
Been
It
staying
has
with.
been working, so.
All right.
It's 2 years as far out as we can go.
Yeah,
I think that's. how-
Prudently.
Yeah.
Prudently.
yes, because things, there's things that could happen in
Yeah.
between, so. All right, well, we'll back up then. I don't think Luke is on, so I'll try to do this best I can. We have a couple first readings this morning on a couple of ordinances.
I think the black is first.
Okay, can do that. Action to approve a plat of the Nelson Addition in Henry Township. This was in before the planning and commission at the planning and zoning meeting. It was approved by all. Myron, did you want to add anything to it?
No, it's pretty straightforward. It was approved by a unanimous vote in the planning and zoning meeting, and I will make a motion to accept plat.
Motion by Johnson. Second by Waterman. I believe it was a homestead exemption, which we do quite often.
Okay, so
So,
it's just that
This,
cutting up.
this is right across that gravel road to the east, isn't it?
all right, with that, are we ready to vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. Just gonna check with Luke quick, but I'm sure he must be in the middle of a meeting. Okay, let's move on then to number 10. First reading of ordinance number 73. Ordinance number 73 is a temporary ordinance regarding the issuance of local medical cannabis establishment permits and or licenses. So that is first reading on that. Then we'll move on to item number 11, first reading of ordinance number 74, which reads a temporary ordinance regarding the issuance of local medical cannabis establishment permits and or licenses in the area of the joint zoning authority.
Are we required to read the actual ordinance?
Just the title.
Just the title.
It's
Just
available.
the title.
Yep.
And it's available to people, if they want to check the
Yep.
zoning office,
It is on.
and it's on there. I believe it's on the
Online.
zoning. So,
I will just note, I have a few notes here with Luke. Just for a matter of record. We will be meeting jointly with the city council on Monday night for second reading, public hearing again, and then adoption of these ordinances. And that will be in conjunction with the city council meeting, starting at 5:30 PM at City Hall.
So 5:30 PM, City Hall, Monday.
So are you taking action just on number 70, the joint jurisdictional one? And then the action on the county portion will take place the 22nd? Is that correct? I might have to check.
No, I think we're gonna do them all on the 21st. I'm trying to
That
find.
was the plan, is to get it all done
They'll all be done that night
first. I think so. I
And
think
that's
so.
at 5:30.
at 5:30. Luke's.
If there's are you concerned about
Well, I'm concerned that we're taking action on our
just our county?
on our ordinance not at our public meeting, is what I'm concerned about. I guess, but
Oh.
if Luke-
We might want
He will advertise it that way. I believe, it's probably been advertised. It will be,
I'll confirm it.
yeah, just confirm with him. Said hold of both of these ordinances. Yes, so,
June 21st at 5:30.
yes, June 21st at 5:30, city council meeting. Okay, now I found it, okay, the county commission is scheduled to occur at a special joint meeting of the county commission and the city council at City Hall at 5:30 PM on Monday, June 21st, 2021. So,
But
We
does
did meet.
does it say
and I
what
think
you're
most
taking
of us
action?
were there.
I
All of
guess.
us were.
Except
I
Charlie.
think
Charles
the way
just-
I read it is for 70, you have first readings of 73 and 74.
first readings, that's right now.
That right now, yep. That one will be the second reading and public hearing and adoption.
Okay.
With the city, but we'll find out for sure. Planning Commission recommended approval following the joint public hearing on June 10th. So of these. All right. Second reading, public hearing, and action by the county commission is scheduled to occur at the special joint meeting of the county commission and city council at City Hall. All right, well, we'll get more clarification on that, but that's the way it looks to me. And we'll handle that all there.
Now, is this on our, it's on our website already? That's. Is this on
The
our
ordinance
website?
Should be. Let me-
Yeah.
It's pretty, for a document, it's actually
Yeah, it is.
pretty easy reading.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad. You
Well,
can
and-
read it and halfway understand.
This is basically a carbon copy of what other
Yep.
municipalities are
Yeah.
adopting as well across the state of South Dakota, with the exception of where it's located.
And just so people understand, it's an emergency ordinance because we're waiting on the state to come up with the rules, basically. We say,
right.
yeah,
So
it's fall.
we're on our homepage.
It's the website's on the screen. So, but it's in the zoning section.
It is in the zone. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but if you want to. So,
I
yeah,
wonder if we should move to our homepage.
Where's that ordinance?
we can add a link to the welcome page.
Redirect link.
It'd be easier.
I can do, I'll try to do that later.
Yes, it's in those two areas, the county and the joint jurisdiction, until the state establishes its own rules regarding this. So I just emailed him if he could jump on, but I'm not hearing response. Just for clarification for Cindy. On,
I just want to make sure I have our agenda right for the 22nd.
right. But I suppose like, yeah, you can get a hold of him to see what to put on. Well, while we're waiting, I suppose like if he would be able to, we can take it up once we come out of executive session again.
Sure.
I
Just,
mean, we've done the first reading. So-
yeah,
We're
first
done.
readings are
Yeah.
done. It's just
First reading,
clarification
yeah.
as, yeah, the first
Yeah.
readings are done of both
Yep.
ordinance 73 and 74. We're okay. It's just Cindy's wondering how to
Right.
agendize it, basically. So, all right, so we do have a need to go into executive session, and it is under item number 3, preparing for contract negotiations with employees or representatives.
So.
I'll move to go in exec session.
Also,
Okay, motion by Johnson, second by Gable. Did you have a question?
yeah, just so we're probably not going to take action.
No,
after. We'll
there
just
won't be any
clarify
action
it
on
so we
that.
can
No.
Stop the stream.
Nope, and hearing from Luke will just be a clarification for Cindy on the agenda, so. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, we're in executive session.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Need to stop it. Just